The first time I fell in love with dance was in Jan Duffy's class when I was 5 or 6. That was because after doing our pliés and our tendus, she brought out a box of scarves, and we got to make up anything we wanted to. I may not have known the word choreographer at the time, but I knew that I wanted to be one.
I came to know, or I first met Sarah in the spring of 1992 when she came to the campus of Case Western Reserve University to audition for the Creative Achievement Award. I was immediately, engaged by her movement because it wasn't kind of enveloped in any codified technique. She just had an authentic way of moving.
I grew up with my mother. She's a very vibrant person, also very curious and very supportive. She was also very practical, so she always had the, dance and philosophy. Yes, dance and something else, which is probably what eventually led to the double major choice. In the end, it's really influenced a lot of my choreographic work because I tend to think of myself as a very visual choreographer to begin with. A lot of my work really pays attention to the landscape and the spacing and patterns. Understanding the visual system made it kind of fun to play with different elements of how dance looks, and even lending itself to some of the site-specific work that I've done. So at the Museum of Contemporary Art in Cleveland, we did a whole show called Area MT, which is the part of the brain that processes movement. And even some of my dance skills lent themselves to research, because when you've choreographed since you were dancing with scarves at 5 years old, then you learn that some things work, some things don't work, but if you don't try, you won't ever know.
She brings a different kind of creativity, and by that I mean she is one who can easily collaborate with not necessarily other artists, but with scientists, with researchers, with technology.
Well, the first time I performed at Ingenuity Cleveland, I actually did a project with Brainmaster, which included live brainwave projections using EEG technology. And that is when I met David D. Felice, who is my contact, collaborator, and friend now from NASA. He saw the performance, and he had an idea based on the rendezvous of the space shuttle to the International Space Station. And he had read something at one point that said it was like an orbital ballet. This is also when I was first introduced to harnesses with dancing. We wanted to create a dance that sort of highlighted what it meant to be an astronaut, essentially. So a lot of my vocabulary for the movement came from watching videos of astronauts preparing to go into space. Learning how to rig and climb and what kind of equipment to have is a whole world, and I hadn't really had access to that world.
I admire Sarah's ability to keep moving forward, but it also always relates back to something, either her environmental work, certain things that her rock climbing that she did when she was a youngster, so that it's all connected. So it's like there's sort of no stopping Sarah.